Hi everyone. My name is Jessica Heiler and I'm a Wuda teacher and trainer. I'm calling in today from Corvallis, Oregon in the United States, and I'm really grateful to be here. It's a beautiful night. The stars and the moon are out, and I'm grateful to be here with Michelle, the founder of Wuda, the dancing way, and we are really excited. We're making this little video to tell you a little bit more about Wudao and the training, because we're really looking for some more Wudao teachers, especially over in Europe. So we'll tell you a little bit more about what the training entails, and also like the 7-day intensive that is part of it and will happen in Germany later this year. Yes, so I'll pass it over to you, Michelle, to tell us about you and Wudao and where it comes from and what it is all about.
Okay, I'll try and answer all those questions. And I'll just first say that it's such a pleasure to be sharing this video or whatever we're doing, this meeting with Jess, because we met, how many years ago was it, Jess?
2008. I don't know, is that 9 years?
Yeah. And we met in a coffee shop, and Jess was really interested in doing the teacher training, which we'll share more about. But since then, it's been a wonderful relationship. We've been to India together, we've been to Bali together, and we've worked really hard together on helping people come back to peace and balance with the beautiful way that is Wudao. So let me just explain a little bit about what it is and how we came to be doing this. So I'm the founder. I started Wudao way back in 2001, and I think it was mainly triggered because my youngest daughter had been quite ill, and I needed to leave my business that I was doing at that time, which was I had a shiatsu school. I was training people in this massage technique, so I knew Chinese medicine really well, and I'd been a ballet dancer prior to that. So what I was wanting to do was I had some time off because my daughter was sick, and I just decided to try and bring together the dance that I love so much and that I really needed to be doing, because dance is really joyful and fun, and I really needed to have some of that in my life, and also the healing benefits of Chinese medicine. So I used to go into the studio every week, and I used to weave together the meridians with beautiful movements, and I came up with the dances, and then I came up with the name. So that was way back in 2001. It seems a long time ago now. This is heading into its 16th year. And since then, I've been training people all around the world, and I've run lots and lots of classes and workshops. And it's definitely a growing, deepening process, because it really takes you to a place of stillness, it calms anxiety, and it's just such an emotional balance, and more than anything. Jess, have you got anything to add to that before I carry on, so I don't feel like I'm just talking?
I think you're doing great.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just say, what Wudao really does is that it's an energy balancer primarily, because it's working on the system of Chinese medicine. It's working to get the qi, or the life force energy, flowing through the body. But what it does really, really well, and where it originally came from in terms of my own experience and how I've brought that into the dance, is that we all need some kind of practice that we can take into our busy lives that have all kinds of different challenges going on. We all need something that can help us, that can keep us, I don't know, in the zone where we can flow with whatever's going on. So Wudao is an absolute winner for that. It really is, because the dance practice, you don't even know that you're exercising. You're engaged in the beautiful movements. There's joy in that. And as you're dancing with a lovely group of people, hopefully, or sometimes you have to do it by yourself when there's no one else around, you come into this place and you remember who you are in the middle of your busy life, which is really this, you're a being and in a body, but you're way more than just the experiences that you're having in your daily life. You're way more than all the things that you identify with, would that be as a mother or your profession or whatever you do, your wife or a husband or whatever. You're way more than that, and you get to connect with that when you dance, and that's really, really precious, and that's why I keep dancing every week, I go to my classes, and every week I come home full of joy and so glad to be doing what I do. So I really hope you'll be able to join us sometime, or you guys who are watching this video. So what do you think about that, Jess?
Yep, I agree, and definitely like second everything you said. That's why I dance too, and I really love Wuda also, not only because it's dance and I love to dance, and part of my journey was I always wanted to dance, but I didn't do it as a young child, and then of course I thought, oh, it's too late now. And then in 2008 I lived in Australia at the time, and I was lucky to do a weekend workshop with one of the teachers, Dominique, over in Australia, and just fell in love with Wuda and with dancing. I was like, wow, you know, like, yeah, I can totally do this. And it's so much fun. And I love that it's a spiritual practice, but it's really embodied, not only in the way that you know, bring it into your body because you're using movement, but also it's really nature connected. So you're really connecting to the elements, to air, water, wood, fire, and earth in a really deep way. And I mean, Michelle is going to talk more about the training, but especially if you're doing the training, you're really building a personal relationship with those elements. And there's a lot of like exercises and fun, creative ways in the training where you go out and you just get to know these elements and you build your ropes. So Wuda is not using only movement, but also color and pictures from nature and the emotions that go with that. And that at the time when I did my training was also really important to me, like, because I really looked for something where I can express my emotion in a good way and also learn like what is actually going on in my being, in my life, and tune into that. So that's also like really big gift that Wuda has brought in my life. And when I did my training originally, I didn't plan to teach. I just wanted to do it for myself because I really felt at the time I was in my early 20s and I felt really lost. I just finished school and I was like, what am I going to do with my life, you know, like so Wuda really helped me to find my way. And I mean, it's called the dancing way, and it's really about finding your own path and walking that path, like knowing who you are and what it is that you bring into this life, like what are your gifts and how are you going to bring that, and really standing in that knowledge and in that beauty. So that's what I love about Wuda.
Yeah, that's actually amazing that you say that, Jess, because I remember when I first created Wuda, you know, when I was in the process of creating it, and you know, I was tuning in, I was asking for guidance, and you know, it was there was an aspect of I don't really like to use the word, but in some ways I was tuning in and asking for guidance, and I received in the way that the stories came through that guided the formation of how the dances were done and which dance came first and which element was first. And when you were saying about connecting to your purpose and finding out who you really are and living that, in the beginning when the stories came through, that was primarily what the message was. Because the way we dance the elements in Wuda, you know, all the elements, we have it in the Chinese medicine framework. So all the elements are connected to all the organs in the body, and, you know, they're all connected, all the emotions and the seasons and everything like that. But the way I was shown how to bring which order that would happen in was to come down from the heavens down into each of the elements till our feet were firmly planted on the earth and our energy is flowing freely, so that then we can all do what we're meant to do. And that really was one of the core things that came through in the very beginning when I was thinking about Wuda, was exactly that. That's about getting fully embodied in our bodies, energy flowing, not resisting, really understanding and knowing that we are directly connected to life, that life loves us and cares about us, and then we can move forward doing exactly what we're meant to be doing, which is exactly what you said, Jess. I'm really happy that worked for you. Yeah. So should I go into talking a bit about the training structure?
Yeah, before you do that, let me
Yeah.
just like say, so I was trained in Australia,
Mhm.
and then in 2012, my husband and me, we actually happened to move back to Germany. That's where we are originally from. And I was one of the first people who brought Wudao over to Germany. I think I was the first teacher in Germany, right? Yeah. And I just started teaching in 2012. And I did some math the other day, and I've taught over 250 people by now. And we also have like 5 more teachers in Germany now, which is really great. So, like Wudao in Australia, a lot of people are dancing it, and New Zealand as well. And it's like slowly moving over to Europe, and we have some teacher in Canada and Japan, and so it's moving into the rest of the world. I'm gonna be back in Germany, and yeah, so we are really hoping to bring this beautiful way over to Europe more, and that's why we're doing a training, especially in Europe, because so far people had to go to Bali or Indonesia, and
Mm.
maybe right, you did some in Thailand, didn't you?
No.
Uh, training. Not yet. Yeah. So far, people had to go a far way to do the training. So we really want to make it easier. That's why we're having a training in Germany. But most of the training is home study,
Mhm.
and so you can start anytime, even now. And yeah, Michelle's going to talk more about that and tell you about that.
Yes, I will. And I'll just say also that Jess has been instrumental in training our new teachers in Germany, because if it wasn't for Jess, Jess has actually trained a few people on one-on-ones. They've been very small groups, but just bring those people up to speed. And if it wasn't for Jess being in Germany, those other people would have had a really hard time becoming instructors, because they weren't able to make it over to where I was running the trainings in the Southern Hemisphere. So thanks to Jess, we do have a solid, gorgeous group of instructors in Germany, and that's where we want to grow. We're ready to grow and expand and reach and help more people throughout Europe and wherever they can come from. That's a long way away from little old Perth in Australia. So I'll just say a little bit about what the training entails. So basically there are 2 components to the training. There's a home study course, and there's 2 modules connected to that. And there's a 7-day intensive, which is the mastery course, which is the 7-day intensive that we hold in a retreat format, because people come, they stay, they're there and immerse themselves fully in the Wuda practice and learning everything that they can. So that's kind of the final end of the training. The first 2 modules are really there to, you want to be able to learn the dance at home, understand how the system works in terms of Chinese medicine. So there's a fairly comprehensive Chinese medicine workbook to work with, and a study guide to help you learn the material and integrate what you need to know about Chinese medicine so you can bring that into your teaching practice. Of course, there's learning all the dance material and learning how to teach a class. And there's also what we call the course in transformation, which is the deep inner work that is really, really important that we have in the course. And from my point of view, as the founder, it's the place where I want people to really come to embody what Wudao is all about, because I really believe that the best teachers are those who have walked the journey, and the best teachers are those who have embodied and understand how the energy is working through your own body and through your mind and your heart. You can't really just teach the dance format, because it's not just about the dance. It's about understanding and knowing who you are in relationship to life. So the course in transformation has lots of transformational and healing processes that you'll go with, all the way through the different elements that we work with in Chinese medicine. So the air element, the wood, the water, the fire, the earth. And you come out of that course, I think, pretty much a transformed person. And just on that note, in terms of that course, the material in it, I have done it many times, because when I first started teaching Wudao, we did all that work in the group. So I've done this course many times, And I just want to say that I'm still do some of these exercises that are in this course. I go back to them when I need to realign myself, when I really need to think a little bit more deeply about what's going on for me, or where am I feeling a little bit out of balance, or where's the conflict, or where am I stuck. I can come back to some of those exercises and get a really quick grasp on what it is that's going on with me energetically. You know, am I in a time of really having to consolidate things? Do I really just need to settle down and rest? Or is it a time for me to be actioning? Is my energy not flowing? Is it blocked? All those kinds of things you can explore through this course. So I think it's a very thorough course and a really good one. You come out changed, whether you decide to teach or not. The course in transformation will definitely transform you and bring you a little bit closer to really knowing the core of who you are. Another aspect of the course that we do in Module 1, in the first aspect of the self-study, is we call it the Stretch, Dance, Relax course. And that's a really short, condensed little program that you can use that's really easy to kind of master. So it's a really good place to start when you need to just learn one dance, one meditation, you know, a little bit of how to do the stretches with people. And it's a lovely program. We've used it a lot with older people, and it's modified so that people can be doing it in sitting down, or they can be standing or whatever. So it's a really simple program to use straight away. And Jess or I, depending on where you are and how you're situated, you know, we can help you organise some hours where you can do your practicum. Because with that course and with all the whole full course, you need to complete a certain number of practice hours so that you can build up your experience and practice in terms of how you're teaching and facilitating classes. So in the course, you need to do 10 hours of the Stretch, Dance, Relax, and another 30 in the regular classes. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. It's not really, we don't really have to go into it too much, but you need to complete those, what we call the logbook hours. And you can do those at any time. So how the training kind of works is that you can start the home study anytime. And we do recommend that if you are thinking about doing you want to get to the intensive, for example, the intensive is in September, and the dates are the 15th to the 22nd of September in Germany. Where is it at, Jess? What's the address?
Because I don't know the address, but I can tell you it's in northern Germany. It's right on a beautiful river called Elbe. And we'll be there in a seminar house just for us. It's in nature, so we'll be able to dance outside and inside and be in nature and with our feet on the grass. And we'll be there for 7 nights. And we have a wonderful woman with us who will cook for us. Eleonore is her name, and she will actually cook like according to the 5 elements. So she will support our process with the food we are eating, which is pretty amazing.
Fantastic.
So that's where it's going to be, but I'll let you go on.
So that's where we're going to be for the 7-day intensive in Germany, which we are so excited about doing. I mean, this is our first big collaboration in terms of having a in fact, this will be the first international, you know, Northern Hemisphere training. So it is really, really exciting for us. What else can I tell you about the training? So Wuda, when you are an instructor, and you can just do the program like Jess said, you can start off as not necessarily with the outcome of wanting to teach, but of course we'll be training you to become an instructor. So we want you to be out there teaching and reaching people and helping people, but you don't necessarily have to start with that intention. And there are lots of people who have been through the course who decide for whatever reason that it's not what they wanted to do. But in saying that, if you are deciding to be an instructor and you want to take Wuda into your community and help people wherever you are, we run Wuda under a license agreement. So what that means is that once you have your accreditation as an instructor, we'll provide you with a 1-year license that's included in the cost of your training, so that once you've paid all your training fees, your first year license is included as soon as you're ready to start teaching. So that may be a few months after you've finished your intensive, because sometimes there might be things that you have to finish off doing, other bits of homework or assignments, for example, that you may need to finish off before you you receive your final accreditation, which is all good. You can take as long as you like. We try to encourage people that as soon as they've finished their 7-day intensive, that within 3 to 6 months they've completed everything and they're ready to get going. So the momentum keeps going. So the license means that you are licensed to teach Wuda in the form that we teach you. And the reason that we're running it under a license and it's not just an accreditation is because Wuda is fairly new in the world. It's not like yoga. It hasn't been around for 50 years or 100 years. Oh, I've just developed. I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm just going to pause. So sorry about that. We had a little echo going on. We're back now. So in terms of the license, the reason that we run it as a license is because we want to maintain the quality of what it is. So if it was just that I was, training you and then you could go out and do whatever you wanted to do with it, it may morph quite quickly into something else. So the idea of the license is that we maintain the quality of the product. You teach it with your own, you bring your own unique, beautiful way of teaching into sharing that. But the format of Wuda, the dances, the meditations and the process that we use in the classes all stays the same. So we regularly hold enhancement workshops and retreats and events and days for all our instructors. Now, not everyone can always get to them, but we try to make them as accessible as possible. And I am always working to make sure that I stay in contact with all the teachers and with all our instructors all over the world, wherever they are, so that you've got the extra support. That's the other thing that the license will offer you, is the support that you need to, not just the business support, but the personal support. So I'm here, and Jess will also be there for you because she's going to be helping to mentor all our European students through this process. And we really want to be able to be there for you at a personal level, to support your journey, to support you expanding into more life and more purpose and more wisdom into your life, so that you're an empowered being doing what you're meant to be doing, and that Wuda is a part of that. And we want to make that a part of that for you. So once we've done all the home study and you've completed all the assignments and you've done the 7-day intensive, which really is the place where we consolidate all the learning that you've done in the home study courses, that's where we work on refining all the dance material. So that is the funnest bit of the course, really, because you're with a group of people and you're dancing every day. And I can't really even tell you how good it feels to be dancing for 7 days straight. It's such a high for me whenever I teach, because Wuda is working to balance the qi. And the more that you're dancing, the more you're going to make that contact with the life force in your body, and the better you're going to feel. So throughout the training, even while you're learning and taking a lot of information, becoming better at becoming ready to teach, you're also fine-tuning your energy. So you will leave feeling absolutely centered and calm and energized and vibrant in your body. And really, you will have gone through a lot of internal changes as well while you're at the training. What do you think, Jess? How's the training been for you when you've attended?
Yeah, it really brought me, I think the most amazing bit for me and for the people who have been training with me, like, we always come to this point where we just feel still, like where our mind is really quiet. And that's just such a beautiful place to be in. And it reminds me, like, I think once we had a Skype meeting with you, like from a German training, and we were all like, we don't know what to say, we're just quiet. And you were like, yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So I always, I'm in my body. Like, I really feel in my body. I feel very clear, and just really quiet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's certainly the best feeling in the world, especially while you're dancing. And I mean, I'll just say again that that's one of the reasons why, 16 years down the track, that I continue to run my classes. I mean, at the moment I'm only doing 3, but 3 I'm a nurse as well now, because I decided to become a nurse a few years ago after my daughter passed, and that was a good thing to do. So between that and running the Wuda business and teaching my classes are the highlight of my week. I've just been away for 3 weeks over in Cuba and New York with my partner, and we had a wonderful time. It was absolutely beautiful and exciting and an awesome experience. But by week 2, I was missing the fact that I hadn't danced for 2 weeks. And it wasn't just that I was missing dancing, I was missing the connection that I get when I dance. And even though I was in beautiful natural environments, I just wasn't getting that same beautiful, peaceful, energized feeling that I get at the end of a Wuda class. So I was really happy to start my classes last week and get back in them. I can't even tell you how good it felt to be dancing. I was crying at the end of my first class. It was just an absolute joy. So in saying that, I really want to let you know, in terms of where we aim to get you in the instructor training, is that once you've finished everything, that you can then are in a position to go out and start sharing Wuda within your community and with the groups of people that you feel most passionate about working with. So some of our teachers have worked with older people, some have worked with children. A lot of our people that come to our classes, they tend to be mainly women, I'll have to say, but maybe over in Europe we'll have a few more men coming because dancing is a little bit more accepted over there. And in Australia we have men who go, no, not so much. They have to be really special men to come to Wuda, which we do have some. However, we have lots of women that come and they dance every week and have an absolutely beautiful time. Just your regular kind of woman. They may have kids, they may have retired, they may have not have any children and be like you, Jess, when you started, just quite young, because you were quite young when you started doing Wuda. Just finding your way. But it really seems to reach people that are ready for a deepening. All the women that come and all the people that come to class are, I think, ready for having something a bit deeper. They want to go a bit deeper into life. We're not just hanging about the surface thinking about just how we're going to look and making sure our body is in tip-top or going to a gym. I think the people that are drawn to Wuda are beautiful, wise already, and just needing a little bit of extra support to get and to reconnect with who they really are and their spiritual inner being. So, yeah. Jess, do you want to add anything to this?
Well, I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
I feel pretty complete. Well, I do want to say, we really want to meet you and support you on your journey. So if you are interested in doing the training and coming to the intensive in September, just contact us, write us an email, and we can set up a Skype meeting with you, because we really like to meet people in person. And if we can't get together physically, then at least we can see each other.
Yeah.
And you can ask us all your questions you have about the training and signing up and anything you need, payment options, all that. And you can check out more details on the Wuda website or on my German website. The intensive is on there as well, and information about the training in German.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else we haven't covered?
I don't think so. I think this is our first time sharing this and collaborating on this training. So I think we can probably do another couple of videos, and you'll be next time we'll try and make it so that other people can attend if you'd like to ask your questions online. But this is our first one, and we'll send it out and post it out so that you can see it. And if it's something that you resonate with, then please get in contact with us. Jess, what's your email? What's your website called? How do you want to give the details for that?
www and then Jessica, my first name, -Heiler, my last name, HEILER.com.
There we go. So Jessica-Heiler.com. And the main website is wudaodance.com. That's WUTAODANCE.com. So all the information is there as well. If you want it in German, definitely you better go to Jess's website. And please get in contact with us. Just send us an email. We'll put a link when we post this video with all the details for you to contact us as well. And we really hope to be meeting you really soon, hopefully in September. That would be the plan. And it's been a pleasure, Jess. I love working with you.
Same. I second that. And I do want to say, you know, this is special because, like, if you can make it to the intensive in September, I will be there. I will be leading the training, but Michelle will also gonna come for the last 2 days and join us. And we're not sure, you know, when that's gonna be possible again. So if you wanna get to dance with both of us and meet Michelle, then it's a good opportunity.
Because this will be the first time, and I'm not sure when I'll get back there again. So Jess will be leading the training, and I'm hoping now to be there definitely for the last 2 days and maybe even the last 3, just to have a bit more time with you all. So yeah, that is definitely the plan. So don't miss out. We want to be dancing with you and sharing this amazing opportunity and this beautiful practice that really will bring you back to peace and centeredness and balance, and then you can take that and dance it into your lives and into all the communities that you are living and working in now. So I think that's good. I think that's good. And so Jess, we'll meet again soon, shall we?
Sure, we'll do that. And just want to say thank you, and I'm really grateful for all of you who will be watching this video later on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you see it, and we look forward to meeting you.
Yeah, okay. So we'll say bye for now. Bye, guys. Nice to meet you.